And let me record.
Unscripted, unshackled, uncouth.
What you're about to hear is for more mature audiences only.
It's Miguel and Holly, Uncensored.
Well, hello there, platypus posse.
Hi.
Miguel and Holly, Uncensored. Now, I've got to explain to you what's going on here and why I'm just really impressed with myself right now.
Me too. You're impressive.
I don't say that very often, but I am just very impressed with myself. So we are obviously live right now on the Miguel and Holly Facebook page and our Miguel and Holly YouTube channel. If you're listening to this wherever you listen to podcasts, we have a special guest today in studio for the very first time.
Yeah.
It is our afternoon thirst trap.
Stop.
Ethan Cole.
Oh Unnecessary. Wait, Miguel, is his microphone on? Because I can't hear him very well.
Hello.
Wait, let me see.
Nope.
You can't hear him?
Oh no!
No.
I can hear
I can hear him through your mic.
You can't hear. Wait, hold on. Everyone be
Uh-oh.
quiet.
Okay.
Ethan, say something.
Check 1, 2. It's Ethan Cole. Hits 96.1.
And you can't hear him.
I mean, I can hear him, but not on his microphone.
Okay.
So the way I sound, it sounds like it's coming through my microphone, but I don't know.
I don't see. This is the thing with Holly being in Tampa. Like, there's so many little tricks and buttons and things.
Okay, Adrian. I trust Adrian. She's on YouTube. Can you hear Ethan like at a normal level?
Hello,
or is
Adrian.
it just me? If it's just me, it doesn't matter. By the way, she said, "Hey y'all, hey Thirst Trap King."
Oh my, let's go.
But can you hear him at a good level, or is it just me that can't hear him at a good level? Because if it's me, who gives a fuck?
Hello, Adrian. How are you? Can you hear me?
Martha said I can hear.
Oh, good. Everybody else can hear him. It's just me. Keep going then.
Okay, perfect. Well, so here's the magic of radio, and what makes it so great today is that you can connect good radio talent from all over. And so, Ethan, how long have you been doing afternoons here on the Hits 96.1?
I'm coming up on 2 years. I mean, it's more like a year and like 6-7 months, but like, yeah, so a year and a half. Let's just call it that. But yeah.
A year and a half
now. Yeah.
Now, you actually aren't here in Charlotte, though.
Not well, now I currently am. Physically,
right.
I am.
Right.
But when I started, you ready for this? When I started, I was in San Diego, California. And then a little bit into that, like a couple months in, then I was moved to Atlanta. So I'm, like a couple hours away, 4 hours away. But yeah, no, I do my shows that are here in Charlotte from Atlanta. And then I just have it all up on my computer and my Snapchat and everything like that.
Wow.
Man, technology. Because like
Yeah.
Miguel's in Charlotte. Half the time I'm in Tampa, you're in Atlanta. It's crazy.
It is just so amazing how all of it works together like that. So with our podcast, we like to sort of just like get to know, our new coworkers, our new friends and stuff like that. So Ethan, where are you from?
So originally I'm from Southern California. I'm from Los Angeles. I grew up in the Valley.
Oh,
Wow,
yeah.
who's from LA?
I know. I can actually
there?
say it. I got my ID and everything, bro. Let's go. I still have it. They gave it back to me. I was just like, oh, I get to keep it. But yeah, here we go. Look, you ready for
Wow.
this picture?
I'm about to say, don't show too much.
Oh
Wow.
my God.
Why do you look like the younger brother to AJ from the Backstreet Boys back in the day?
I will take
and
that.
ID.
I didn't have to put in any of the work, and I got all the accolades. I'll take that all day, every day.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, no, that was it. I grew up on that, but I didn't spend. Well, I mean, I spent like my formidable years. Well, my younger years there. But once upon a time, I was good at hockey. So when I was 13 years old, I ended up going to a hockey school in the middle of nowhere, upstate New York.
A hockey school?
A
Wait,
hockey
You went from
school.
LA to New York to go to a hockey school?
Not just New York, upstate New York, Lake
Wow.
Placid, New York.
now my husband is from Buffalo,
Okay,
so
okay.
I know. I mean, anybody from that area be like, "Bitch, you've been like 4 times. You don't know."
No,
But I've been there enough and heard enough about it that how was that change from perfect weather Cali to upstate New York?
it was. I gotta say, and it's stuck in my brain to this day. The biggest thing that hit me was because I had like growing up, I have family that lives in like Wisconsin and stuff like that. So I'd been around snow. It wasn't like, oh, what's this white stuff? But waking up and then like walking outside, and you take that first, and then your nostril hairs would freeze.
Yes.
And I'm like, what source? Like, who says, you know what? I'm gonna permanently set up camp here. when I breathe and it's frozen. And I was just like, I got 4 years of this.
Oh
Oh,
my
my
gosh.
goodness.
Did you make it through all 4 years?
Oh, yeah. Well, okay. So, like, I mean, as a kid, remember 13, 14 years old, and then, like, you're told, hey, you stop school at 1 p.m. and you just play hockey for the rest of the day. I was like, send me out there. I'm ready to go. So,
Wow.
yeah, man. Once upon a time.
That is incredible. Like, Holly,
Yep.
could you imagine sending your daughter Maya off to like lawyer school for all of high school somewhere in California on the other side of the country?
Wait, did your parents go with you, or they were just like boarded up over there?
No, I was boarded up, man. I lived in a dorm room. I've lived in okay, so fun fact about me, this is gonna be wild. I have lived in a different room every year since I was 13, 14, whenever I moved. Like, so like in a dorm, like in a different room where like from every year of my high school, every year of my college, and then every single year after that till now, I have not stayed in an apartment / dorm, the same one, more than 1 year.
You are a radio gypsy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I've been around.
You were meant to, well,
Whoa,
with those
whoa,
thirst traps.
whoa,
Hey.
whoa.
Now that's very interesting because I remember being in high school, and especially after reading Harry Potter my freshman year, I was obsessed with the thought of a boarding school and going away and being away. Is it as magical as it seemed like it was back
Wait,
then?
he didn't go to Hogwarts, Miguel.
Yeah, I didn't have no wand flying around, you know? Like,
Or
Magical?
did you?
I didn't have a broom. I had a stick. I didn't have a broom, though. You know what I mean? Like, that was it.
all those sticks around.
Hey,
Especially
especially in the locker room.
But was it
Hey!
like, did you, I mean, obviously you don't have something to compare it to. So, like, you don't have a, slightly more boring,
Yeah.
traditional formative period to compare it to. But
Yeah.
did you like that?
So, okay, so I always say this now, too, is it's like, and it's like, honestly, I think it's for everybody in life. Looking back on it, I wish that I was more like in the moment, like because like, I don't know if anybody's watching, I don't know if you've been to Lake Placid or not. It is so beautiful. Like, it is scenic. Like, it's like, it's just, and so while I was there, like, you grow up in California, you're going to the beaches and stuff like that. And like, don't get me wrong, I loved hockey, but I was just like, oh man, like the school was so, like, looking back on it now, I'm like, this is amazing. But back then, like, we would every month, I think it was every month or maybe every quarter, whatever it was, we would get 1 day off, not on the weekend either, like literally during the school day where we would take the day off and we'd have to hike one of the mountains in the Appalachian Mountains. And like and like our extracurriculars was like rock climbing and stuff like that. So like I was like a mountain man. Well, I mean, like I was still the city kid, but like I was doing like rock climbing, like free basing and all that. I don't know if that's free basing is what it's called.
Wait, I think that's when you do meth.
That's what so now what's it when you free soloing? That's what it was. Mom, if you're watching this, I have not done meth. That is hand up. I have not done it. I swear.
What are you doing in Atlanta? Oh
Yeah,
my God.
hey, Atlanta's a different beast since I've gotten there. I'll tell you that. No,
Wow.
but it was definitely one of those moments where it's like, it was really cool. Like you live with your friends. Like, it was every hallway had like a dorm parent. So like, it was either like a teacher that lived there or a coach that was one of the teams, and they would always be on each hallway. And they were at the end of the hall. And like, well, that's why like when I don't skateboard anymore, because like my freshman year I was there and I was just skateboarding up and down the hall, and my teacher just took it, tossed it out the window, and I was like, not again, I guess. So that was that.
Wow.
So it was definitely interesting. But like, like Holly said, I definitely feel like there was, so like I never had to worry about, like sneaking out and getting caught by my parents. I never had that like, oh, like bring a girl home and like my, like, oh, it's embarrassing, like that kind of, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
so I definitely feel like I missed out on that. But it was my own little, like, it was really cool. Like, I mean, how many people got to literally live with their friends, like it just every day you could wake up, go say, hey, what's up? Every night we would just be like, we would just be hanging out in the dorms up until they were like, all right, it's lights out, get out of here. So it was, it was
That
definitely
just
cool.
Sounds so interesting to me. So you go to this hockey school.
Yep.
Clearly you're not in the NHL.
Oh,
I mean, no,
Clearly.
I'm just, well, you're not. Your job is radio. So,
No.
I mean, like, what happened?
Well, so basically in Southern California, I was
Mm.
what's called a Wayne Gretzky baby, which is Wayne Gretzky is the greatest hockey player of all time. And he was traded to the Los Angeles Kings back in, I think it was like 90 something or other. And I was born in the 90s. So like I rode that wave. I was like, oh man, this guy's amazing. And then so I played it. But back then, nowadays, I mean, we got people going to the NHL straight from, LA and all that stuff.
Right.
But back then it was like, oh, you're interested in hockey. Well, if you want to go to the NHL, you got to leave. So that's why I ended up moving out. But yeah, man, I don't know. What was the question you asked? I got so sidetracked. Oh, what happened? Oh, that's where I was going to. So I was pretty good at hockey in Southern California. And then when I got to Lake Placid, New York, French Canadians, Russians were all at this school. And that's when I was like, oh, okay, those French Canadians know how to play some hockey out here. So it was definitely, it was fun. Like, it was great. But it was just like, "Ugh, this is going to be tough." And then it was like working on, colleges. Like, I know Dartmouth was going to be one, not academically, trust me, not academically, but like Dartmouth was going to be one of the ones. I did end up playing college hockey at this place called Springfield, but
Oh,
between injuries and I was just like, all right, I got to figure
Not
something
done.
else out. Like, I would be like, D1 right now if this was going to happen. So
so is it one of those things that, like you hear a lot of high school athletes that are at the top of their game when they're in high school, and then when they get to college, they're kind of like, oh crap, I'm good,
yeah.
but these people are like magical.
Well, so
Well,
that
you're a big fish in a small pond in high school level, or
Yeah.
like whatever primary type of thing.
Yeah.
And then when you have to see you match your talents up with like the really how the rankings go, I guess.
so like exactly what you're saying, like that happens all the time when it's like you get to college and all of a sudden it's like that. But for me, that was high school. So like I was king in like it was travel club. Like I can get into it. Like I had a billet family in Detroit. Like I played for Little Caesars Pizza and Honey Baked Ham. They have hockey teams. And
What?
I lived with a family in Detroit for 6 months.
Wait,
And-
did they have like a mascot that was a ham?
No, but PF Chang's, I think PF Chang's, their logo on their thing was outside of the PF Chang's, it's like what is he on, a horse or whatever it is?
Yes.
Yeah. So from our colorway was like, it was, the baby blue with the orange. And then honey baked. There was no it wasn't like the baked ham logo, but like it said like honey baked on it. So it was pretty cool. It was pretty lit. But and then so for me, it wasn't the college that I was exposed to. Like, oh man, these guys. It was when I got to high school and I was 13, 14 years old, and then these 18-year-old. Well, honestly, we had what was called a super senior, and you could stay like a fifth year. So some of them were already like 20 years old and stuff like that. And like I was just like, oh man, these guys are good.
Oh my gosh. So after you graduate from the boarding school, you go to this college. Did you stay the whole time, or what happened there?
Well, no, so I went to Springfield College. Played a little. I mean, like it was fine. I just I kind of knew that it was like you could do, the writing was on the wall. Like the love for it too kind of died because when you go from like being the best at something, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, maybe I'm not the best. You kind of just like, I've lost the interest. I still love the game. I'm watching the hockey playoffs right now. I was hoping the Hurricanes would go all the way, but they lost in Game 7. It's okay. We don't have to talk about it. But yeah, no, it's okay. But yeah, no, it was so Springfield College, and then I was just like, all right, I got to do something like more academic. So, yeah, luckily, like it was really strange. This is honestly like if you need any advice on college, I wouldn't take it from me. But except for one thing, it is very easy to get into a good school if you transfer, because I went to Springfield College, and I don't know how or why, I can't remember specifically. But I had I was never a good student, like at all. I mean, like B's, C's, like never getting the A's, maybe one or two every day, but like just really right down the middle. And then like for some reason I was able to transfer into what's called Brandeis University, which was in Boston. And it was like a super academically inclined school. And then I was just like, oh, this is not like Springfield College out here. So
Did you feel intimidated all of a sudden? You're around like all these people that are like, what is life? What is relativity?
well, okay, so all right. So I at that point I didn't, because it was like a lot of fun just hanging out with friends and stuff like that. Like I made some friends, so it was all good.
Right.
But where that does happen is now. So like I will say, like, I mean, like not trying to toot my own horn, but I've done all right, syndicated. I'm on in like 60 plus markets all over the country. Like made it, I would say, as like far as radio can go.
Made it.
And then
Hey.
I talk to my friends, and they're all like, hedge fund managers. They work at Goldman Sachs. Like I got a friend that's literally working at Meta, like, Facebook. So it's like, it's really
Can
cool.
you get Miguel back in Facebook?
You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Wait.
honestly.
My account's disabled. We'll talk
I have
after
to talk.
this.
Yeah. So it's like, it's like nice, but then at the same time, I'm like, I'm out here doing this. And then they're out here. Yeah, I just closed my 5th deal of the week. And I'm like, dang.
I get it because I went to the college that I went to, the university, was the big claim to fame is it's a pharmacy school. Like you go 6 years and you get your pharmacy doctorate.
Oh, damn. Okay.
And I went to for communications. So like I consider that I'm
did you
doing
know?
well in this. What?
Did you know it was a pharmacy school? And you were
Oh
just
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they also have other stuff.
Okay.
But I just like it's a very pretty campus. And I was
Okay.
very wowed
I
by
mean,
flowers
hey,
in June.
They did the job. Okay.
They had a radio station on campus. I didn't even know I wanted to do radio, but
Okay,
whatever.
okay.
And so when I'm doing really good. And then like my pharmacy friends are like just raking in the cash. And they were like, 3 years after we all graduated. And I'm like,
yeah.
oh,
Yeah, it took us a minute to get there, but
Well.
they've been doing it.
here I am.
Hey. Now, do you have people that are like these hedge fund managers and stuff? Are they making like millions of dollars and whatnot?
I mean, like, okay, so none of them have, like, literally, I make $1 million in a year. But like, I mean, so like when you get hired at Meta and stuff, like, a lot of it is stocks. So like, luckily we had what's going on in the stock market. So they got brought right back down to earth out here. No,
You're like, welcome to the radio
yeah,
life.
what's it like, baby? No, yeah. No, so none of them yet. Like, so that's the thing too, is it's like, I don't know anybody that's straight up like, I mean, like, I have met now other people that are making $1 million a year. And they're like flying to Aspen and all this and that. I'm just like, I'm gonna go to the beach this weekend, but Daytona's calling my name out there in Florida. But yeah, as far as friends go, I'm assuming they will be there soon, but not yet. No millionaires yet.
So will you? Don't you worry.
Fingers crossed, man. Unless this podcast gets me out here,
Hey, we've got tens of
Tens of people that
baby.
are listening.
Tens of listeners. Now, you go to this school. How do you make it to the radio to where you are now in 60 plus different
Yeah,
cities
how did that
across the USA?
happen?
How do you get there?
So it was crazy. I didn't really like radio. Wasn't wasn't like a passion or anything. Like, I mean, I grew up in LA, so obviously I knew Seacrest. My dude, he doesn't go by it anymore, but Boy Toy Jesse was always on in the afternoon getting picked up from school. Now he's just Jesse Lozano. But back in the day, Boy Toy Jesse. So I known of that because, like, just growing up there, I mean, you listen to it on the way in, Ryan's Roses, all that stuff. So I had known about it, but I knew. So basically, I was cruising on the old parents' credit card in college. And then they were like, "Well, Ethan, you're 18 now." So, or no, it was more like when I was closer to like 19. Yeah, I think it was like that 19, almost 20. Like, so, you got to kind of start. I had jobs before, like, so obviously I played hockey. One way to make easy money was to ref hockey. So like, I was like, so it's not like I hadn't had a job before.
Right.
And then I did phone-a-thon at my college. So it was like, that was awful though. Like when you literally have to call up people and beg them.
Wait,
beg
were
them for
you the
money.
little bitch that calls me from my university and asks me for money all the
Oh my God,
time?
I did that too for like 2
I made
weeks.
it
Just
one
calm
semester.
down.
I made it one
Everybody
semester.
got to make money.
Dude, it was
Fuck
literally
both of y'all,
so
okay?
bad.
Y'all call me and you're like, give me money. And I still got student loans from y'all. Sorry.
That's
just
what
a
I
little
want to
bitter.
hear. Literally. And then it got so much worse. I had people being like, wow, asshole, I got cancer and you're asking me for money. Like, I'm like, sir, they pay me like $8 an hour. Like, I just have to do this. I'm so sorry. And then it was so bad. Holly,
gosh.
I don't know if you ever felt this, but like, so I did not. So usually like it's for a semester and then they'll ask you to come back for the next semester. It was so bad by the end of the semester because it was like, I don't know if you've ever worked in a call center. I'm assuming it's how it is in a call center, but like, so it was all on a computer and then like you would tap the button to go to the next and then like it would ring, and then the person would pick up and then you'd have your script or whatever. And I got to the point where literally I'd click next. It would ring. And then somebody would say, hey, I'd let it go for like half a second. And then I click next just to be like, I don't know what happened. The call dropped and all that stuff. And it got to the point. And dude, guys, so like, I always thought the structure was so weird of it too. Because it was like, the better you were as a person, the easier the clientele got for you. Like all of a sudden you'd be calling these people that donate like 50 grand every year. And I'm like, shouldn't that be the newbies trying to get their feet wet? Like give us that confidence and then get the good ones out there, getting the $50 from Joe Schmo, who's like, still in debt massively. Like
Me.
you know what I mean? Like,
Right,
no,
me.
I still get calls. I know them. And I'm just like, yo, is Aaron still in charge over there? Tell me to debag. And then I hang up. I'm like, leave me alone, sir. But yeah, so I did that. But then basically, my parents were like, all right, you have to start like looking at jobs, like, that you can't just be coasting through life, that whole thing. And then, so I was like, oh, damn, I got to figure this out. Okay. I knew the summer before I'd taken like an internship for it was like a sales company and I was just doing marketing. I had to do cold calls and I was like, this is not it. Like I cannot sit behind a desk, just do all these cold calls. So I was like, all right, I know I want to be in the entertainment industry. Like I had a girlfriend in the past whose brother was actually like in he like made movies. He was like, I don't think there's anything huge, but like he was like had a production company. So I was like, I knew I was like something in entertainment. Like he just looked like he was living his best life. Shout out Arcadi, appreciate that. But and then, so I applied to so I knew I was going back home for my, in between junior and senior year, applied to every radio station, applied to every TV station, applied to every movie production company, like just everything. And Kiss in LA was just the first one to get back to me. And they were just like, hey, you can come in for an interview. Showed up full on suit and tie. Like I was like, I know Ryan Seacrest runs this building. I'm going to look as much like that guy as possible. And turns out Ryan Seacrest didn't even work from that building. So I did not get to see him. So yeah, it was cool. Got the interview. They literally were like, bro, if you're going to show up rocking a suit, like clearly you care about this. So you're hired. I don't even know if they liked me. They were just like, if you're rocking a suit, like you clearly care. So I was like, all right, cool. And then, I literally like I said, a lot of it was motivation of just not wanting a regular job. So I would wake up in the morning, hang out with Valentine in the morning on my FM. Shout out to Valentine for letting me stick around and just sit in the studio there. And then I'd stay all day long doing whatever they told me. And then JoJo would come in and do his night show, and I would just wait and hang out with him. And then I knew I was going back my senior year to college back in Boston. So I was like, I got to get a job out there, got to get an internship out there, whatever I can do. And luckily, at first, I tried to use the connections in LA to get to Boston. And they're like, oh, sorry, internships all taken up. Like, nah, I can't do anything. And then so I had seen it online myself, and I applied for the literal morning show, which was, he just recently retired, Maddie in the Morning, for Kiss 108 in Boston. And I got a call from his then producer, this woman named Kendra. She was like, hey, you still looking for an internship? I was like, oh yeah, they told me they don't have any left. She's like, well, we got one for you. Like, come in, we'll talk about it, blah, blah, blah. So I got that internship. And then literally, guys, this was the moneymaker right here. I wish I remember the exact timeline. I want to say it was pretty quick, but it could have been months. I don't know. I remember hearing this name that I hadn't heard before, because I knew I wanted to climb the ladder. Nobody wants to be an unpaid intern while they're for a long time. And I had heard a name, and I was like, okay, so they're saying this guy's the program director. That sounds important. Okay. So I Googled this person, and I found their email address, and then I made a fake air check because JoJo had told me what an air check was. And then I made a fake air check at my college radio station. And I looped like intros for like 30 seconds to a minute. I would have my friends call in. It was awful. Like, I think it's on SoundCloud somewhere. I got to look.
Oh my
God.
God.
Yeah, no. And I would loop it. And I sent it to him. I was like, I noticed you have nobody on the air overnights. I could do it for free. I'm here. I'm ready to go. He was like, absolutely not. But, and this was timing out really well. The night guy, his producer, was basically a board op, but like his producer was leaving in 2 days. So he's like, if you want to learn, you can learn, and then just produce the night show. And I was like, hell yeah. So shout out Mikey V. That's my mentor in Boston. He taught me everything I know. And then he literally looked at me and he's like, all right, I can see you're motivated. Do you really want to make this radio thing your career? Because I can help you. And I was like, yes, please. And he was like, all right, there's this station in what's called Fairhaven, New Bedford, Massachusetts. It's an hour and 15 minutes one way. If you want, I know the program director there. I got started there. He will put you on the air right now and he'll coach you up. I was like, yep. So for the next, I think it was like a year and a half, almost 2 years, every day I'd wake up at 4 a.m. So in that time period, I got bumped from the night show back up to the morning show. They made some changes. So they brought in, who's now my friend Gandhi, who's the co-host for Elvis Duran. When they brought her in to do executive producer, I was like her, I guess, assistant producer. I don't know what you want to call. And yeah, so I did that. And then so I'd wake up at 4 a.m. and then I wouldn't get home until 11 p.m. every day for like a year and a half, 2 years. And then finally San Diego came calling, and that was just me sending all my air checks out and just talking to as many people as I can. And I got so lucky with timing and all that stuff. So then that went from, San Diego went from that to just me just keeping going. And then now syndication, man, you get some good ratings all of a sudden, people like what you got.
That's incredible. To me, it's so interesting to hear radio people's story, because our industry is so weird and there is literally no set way to make it. And when people always say like, well, Miguel, what do you do? Holly, how do you make it happen? And it's like, there is no right or wrong answer. No. You just have to have a personality and just be willing to say yes.
Well, that's why honestly, I'll shout out. So the night guy that's with me in Atlanta, his name is Mike Heath. And he was in St. Louis. So not like a terribly small market, but like, like a mid-level market. And he was on it. Dude, when I say this guy is so charismatic, like I just want to be around him all the time. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, this guy just makes you feel like the sun is shining on the rainiest of days. And because of that charisma, and he was able to show his talent. Like I think in the morning, he was like third or fourth mic on a morning show in St. Louis, and his name was coming back the most researched. And like, because of that, right in Atlanta. After I think it was like a year or so, something like that. So it's like you had me, who it took some time,
right?
And then there's also the option where it's like, if you can show who you are to the right people, boom, right there. And so there's multiple ways to make it happen.
It is. I think the biggest thing that I tell college kids that are about to get into the industry is that you have to be willing to network. Like I was that annoying kid that, when it was MySpace, I was adding all of the radio people that I knew about when I first found the radio sites, like All Access, to just to be like, oh my gosh, I want to do what you do. How do you do it? Hey, hey. And then when you are just that persistent, people go, well, there's this annoying kid in Savannah who, like, let's get him somewhere. And that's how it happens. Real quick before we close out, Ethan.
Yeah, I know I talk a lot. I'm sorry.
What? No, well, this was the Thirst Trap Getting to Know Ethan podcast with Miguel and Holly.
Yes, sir.
What piece of advice would you give to someone wanting to get into the industry?
Do you mean like radio specifically, or just like media and all? Radio specifically?
Yeah, radio.
I would say. I mean, like I know it's so cliche, like you've heard it a million times, but I would just show up and never leave. Like just it sucks because it's like, as like, the younger generation, including myself, it's like you do need a work-life balance. But I also have to say I know where I'm at because I was that guy that never left. And it's like there's a lot of people that were interns at the same time as me. I remember like becoming the person kind of in charge of the interns just because like I was just always there. Like it wasn't I mean, I can talk a lot. I can talk, but there was nothing like super talented about me. It was just I just was always there. And that mixed with some timing and just if you could just outwork everybody. Anybody can learn to be on the radio. I mean, it's just talking. It's just outwork everybody. Just show them that you're willing to do more than everybody.
Well, I also think too, not to downplay yourself, but you do have this infectious enthusiasm that as soon as because listen, Holly and I have been around the block for a long time. And Holly and I are at that point in our lives where, I don't want to be here all day. I don't want to be at the radio station all day. And sometimes I'm having a bad day and I'm going to try to check it at the door, but sometimes you're going to feel it. But you're one of those people that like literally when I let you into the building, you were like, hey, and I was like, whoa, there goes sunshine, girl. How you doing? And so when I hear you, when I'm driving around in Charlotte on the afternoons, you feel it coming. I always call it punching through the speakers.
Oh,
yeah, you do.
And you definitely feel that. So don't discount yourself. Yes, you have to work hard, but not everybody has that.
True.
Not everybody has it.
Right.
And those are the people that unfortunately are not successful in radio and may blame it on a lot of different factors, but you have to have persistence and dedication and hard work, but you do have to have something.
Right.
And I mean, it's different for everybody, but there's got to be a little something that keeps you there. Otherwise, like, it would be boring.
Absolutely.
So.
Oh yeah, very true. I will say, like, obviously, if public speaking is not for you, then maybe don't try this this thing.
Right.
But if you can talk to people, then I would say give it a try and just do the best you can.
That's what I'm saying.
I will say there are a lot of steps in between. I feel bad like making it seem like, oh yeah, I popped out. Like I will.
Oh no, it takes time.
It's a lot. Well, I don't even know who's getting into radio. Can we just be honest? Like, who in the hell is getting into radio nowadays?
All right, do you want me to be honest? I could be totally honest. So I've started a new thing. And this is my new wave. And it's like, I'm very lucky that I'm actually like into the music and I'm a fangirl myself. But what I tell people, and a lot of people that I now have following me and a lot of people that I now have that I just like talking to just because they're my people, fangirls. If you love an artist so much, you want the chance to be able to interview them at some point, you want to just talk about them and play their music, go into radio. I mean, like I have so many people now. I started throwing these parties that are like fangirl themed, like, if it's like One Direction, Harry Styles, Taylor Swift, Olivia Rodrigo. And I throw these parties and all of them, they come in and they're like, how do I become you? And I'm like, dude, this is like, I never thought I'd be in a situation where it's just like, anywhere from like 15 to 25-year-olds, both guys and girls are just like, yo, like, 'cause I just got to interview Jack Harlow like 2 weeks ago. And like that, it's another thing that when you post it and it's just like, everyone's just like, yo, like what you do is kind of cool. So that's why I do laugh. 'Cause like, people say like, oh, I don't listen to radio. I'm like, well, radio, I mean, that's just one thing that I do, it's just like, this is
content creation, bitch.
Literally, like you get paid to just come up with, like I do TikToks. I mean, granted, like I do 5 shows a day,
right?
But like, and it's very time consuming. So it is tiresome, having to think about all these different markets. But really all I'm doing is just thirsting over Harry Styles for everybody to hear. And it is, I get to go home and collect a paycheck. So I'm like, I will do this until the day they lock me out the studio.
Who isn't thirsting over Harry Styles?
I mean,
I love it. Well, Ethan, thank you so much for letting us get to know you, for our new Charlotte fam and for our fam from Tampa, Panama City, from all over. We have some from San Diego.
Hey, yo.
That have listened to us, that may know you from your days out there. So thank you so much. What's your social media so people can see more thirst traps of you?
Instagram at it's Ethan Cole, ITS Ethan Cole. And then I don't know, it's a little bit embarrassing on TikTok, but I heart Ethan Cole because I'll be going crazy with the music on TikTok. But yeah, it's Ethan Cole on Instagram.
I love it. Holly, what's your social media?
Radio Holly, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram.
Mine is Miguel Fuller. Leave us a 5-star rating. If you don't have a 5-star rating, fuck off.
Get the fuck out.
Thank you.
Just kidding. I mean, but not really.
No, really. We love you. Thank you so much. And we will have another podcast tomorrow on Friday. We will see you then. Bye.
Miguel and Holly Uncensored.
Catch it on the iHeartRadio app or anywhere you listen to podcasts.